Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, my peeps out there. You already know this is the Ball Knowers Pod. My name is Zach, and with me I have Jacob, Aller, and Justin. We also call him Joller. We also just call him Justin still. And again, my name's Zach. This is the Ball Knowers Pod. We are going to be discussing and kind of going over the Week 8 of the National Football League. Definitely some good matchups, some good walk-off wins. It was also tight ends weekend or National Tight Ends Day. I know for sure a lot of coaches drew up some plans for tight ends because they caught like everything. They were on a roll every single game. I think a tight end had a touchdown or every single game except like one or two. So also no buys this week also. So more football. 16 every single team was playing too. So how you guys doing?
Good.
Alive? Justin? Alive? Yes.
Good.
That's all I got. No.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
alive.
Good. Awesome.
Not
No,
used to
definitely
doing
some
this
good
on
games.
Monday. That's on me.
Yeah. It is. We are coming a day late. Not my fault. It's Joller's fault. But nonetheless, let's get into it. Kind of roll through some games for you. Cue the background music and go. No background music. Okay, we'll try that again. Anyways, we'll go ahead and start off in Cincy as the Bengals welcomed the 4-2 Eagles. I think we said this last episode. It was a borderline must-win game for the top 5 quarterback Joe Burrow and the Bengals. They were able to tie it with 4 minutes left to go in the third, but then were manhandled by the Eagles to end out the game. There was 3 tush-push touchdowns by Jalen Hurts. He had like 30 yards total with 3 touchdowns. Stole or vultured every single touchdown away from Barkley, which sucks if you have him on fantasy. But I feel like takes it pretty easy, 37-17. Staying in the great state of Ohio, our Jameis Winston led Browns took on the first place Ravens. They did what we wanted Tampa Bay to do last week, which was to stop King Henry on the ground, and they did. Derrick Henry finished with 73 yards on the ground, and actually half of that was coming off of 1 rush, so they did an excellent job. Jameis Winston definitely spread the wealth. Cedric Tillman getting a couple scores. David Njoku, shout out tight end, getting another. The Browns did survive a late interception drop by Kyle Hamilton. He literally had it. It's like he was running the route, and he read it perfectly. He literally, like, off his hands, off his chest, dropped. But unless Jameis and the Browns get to eat their W's this week with the win over their division rival, Browns win 29-24. Shifting to another first place team, the Detroit Lions absolutely dismantled the Titans, which, as they should, Titans are not good. Goff had 3 touchdowns and only 85 yards passing. I believe as an offense, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, they have more touchdowns than incomplete passes in the last 5 or 6 games. The running back duo, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, combined for over 160 and 3 total touchdowns. Montgomery actually threw a touchdown, which is pretty cool. I feel like Dan Campbell's finding new plays every single week to draw up and score a 40 or 50 piece, which is just wild. They definitely come in for all the kneecaps in the NFC for sure. Lions take it at home 52-14, and a rare Hendon Hooker sighting at the end of that game for Tennessee fans, if you like that. Moving on, although the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6 came out this weekend, Kyler Murray was definitely looking to break the COD curse. Arizona goes into Miami to try and spoil Tua's return to the lineup. Kyler actually throws for over 300 yards. My boy Maserati, Marvin Harrison goes off. Trey McBride, another touchdown for another tight end. They both have pretty big days. Dolphins didn't look terrible, though. Obviously Tua in the lineup looked a lot better. Again, Arizona walks it off with a Chad Ryland walk-off field goal, and Arizona wins 28-27. This next one, a good AFC division matchup in Foxborough, where Justin's Jets are DEA dead. They were definitely looking for a bounce back after their loss last week.
Super dead.
They were playing a 1-6 Patriots team that was definitely had nothing to lose. Seemed like it could have been an easy, layup to kind of get back into things, almost like a tune-up game, if you will. As Justin predicted, Drake May goes down early, which we never like. Greg the Leg, or lack thereof, misses a easy field goal and a PAT. And Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots have a 12-play, 70-yard touchdown drive at the end to win it 25-22. Jets are officially murdered. Done with them. Good win for the Patriots, and hopefully Drake May's okay and it's nothing serious, because that would suck. But yeah, down bad. Another division matchup, this one in the NFC. Kirk Cousins and the Falcons try to take control of the NFC South as they go into Tampa Bay. I think we said last episode too that, given the injuries to Evans and Godwin, that it was now Atlanta's division to lose, which I still think it is. They look like they had this game in control majority of the time. They were up 14 points heading into the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay scores 9 in the fourth, 9 unanswered to kind of make it close. But Atlanta looked to have control of this game. Bijan looked pretty good. Cousins goes for over 270, I believe. 4 total touchdowns. Kyle Pitts, another tight end, has 2 of them. Baker still putting up big boy numbers, though. He throws for over 330, 3 touchdowns, and he leads the league with 21 touchdowns through 8 weeks. Nonetheless, Atlanta gets it done to stay in first, 31-26. Trap game alert on this one. Joller's Pack heads to Duval County, what they think was going to be a walk in the park, or so he said. What it ended up being was a very close game. Jordan Love goes out in the third quarter after throwing for 200 yards and another interception. I believe he leads the league in those. Malik Willis comes in to finish the game out. He actually throws a touchdown. However, the Pack survive thanks to not only the Brandon McManus walk-off, but a monster game by Josh Jacobs as well. Not to miss out that Trevor Lawrence does throw for over 300 yards, but they do lose their rookie wide receiver, Brian Thomas. Another AFC South matchup, my Colts and Texans. I don't have a lot to say because I'm disappointed. They definitely lose for sure. 23-20 in Houston. Defense kept him in this game. Anthony Richardson is very, very bad. He subs himself out because he was tired, which is the worst excuse you ever want to hear from your quarterback. Defense kept us in. JT was back. He looked pretty good too, but if we don't have a quarterback that can throw somewhat decently, we won't win any games. He was 2 for 13 at halftime with 81 yards, and one of those completions was 69 yards. So basically nothing. So Colts lose 23-20 to finish off that morning slate. So any of those games kind of catch your eye, boys, or anything that you saw? I mean, you can start off with the Jets right in hot because
I'll talk about the Packers real quick.
Oh, Packers, yeah, go ahead.
Never mind. Yeah, talk about the Jets.
Dude. Oh, man.
Yeah, all right. Bad transition. Yeah, I'll talk about the Packers real quick. First reaction, Packers stay lucky. That was my first feeling, that they were lucky. Jordan, it was almost identical to last week, like Jordan Love with a first drive early pick, and another interception later. Just really got to hone it in. He's slinging it, but also turning the ball over way too much, and eventually it's going to bite them in the butt. But they're sneaking away wins for now. The defense had a huge turnover in the second half that led to a quick score to put them up, give them a little breathing room. The defense has just continued to find ways to get turnovers all season, which has kind of been their saving grace in these kind of sloppy games. Nonetheless, though, still 6-2. Malik Willis came in, and I guess he's technically 3-0. I mean, he was 2-0 as a backup, and he came in and won. Did his job, didn't do anything too crazy. Made a deep pass late in the game to kind of ice them into field goal position, and then just ran the clock down. Brandon McManus, the savior, back-to-back weeks, chip shot field goal for the win. Still lots to improve on, especially, like I said, Jordan Love with the turnover thing. That's got to get cleaned up. but they're still finding ways to win. And if they clean up the small mistakes, turnovers, I think they could still be very, very good. I'm
Josh Jacobs
nervous
had a
about the
sick
Lions
ass
next week. The
touchdown run.
Lions are just yes. Josh Jacobs played great, especially in the third quarter and fourth quarter when um, Jordan Love was down. They relied on him heavy, and he has some huge runs, so that was massive. If he was dead, then the offense would not have been moving. Could have been really, really bad. But so shout out Josh Jacobs for a huge game when you needed him most. Kind of worried about the Lions going into this week. The Lions are more than red hot. They are insanely, insanely good. Hopefully Jordan plays. I don't really know the severity of his groin injury. They said it's like a strain today, so it's not serious, but I also don't know if he's playing because after the Lions game, they have their bye. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that they sit him, but I'm not necessarily banking on that. So we'll know more as the week goes on. But yeah, huge week next week. Glad to get the win, but still feel lucky more than anything. So
lucky that Jordan Love went out, right?
Lucky they trade by a win.
What is he now? 3-0 in games he's played this year?
Malik, yeah. Might be some quarterback controversy, as some would say.
No, yeah. That's what I was going to say, man.
3-0 is 3-0.
True.
So
it's definitely nice to have a quality backup.
Yeah, gotta have it. So yeah, back to the Jets.
Yeah, back to the Jets, huh, Justin? Are you still in or what?
Dude, I don't.
Show us the path.
I don't get what's wrong with that. If they had a halfway decent kicker, they'd be 4-4 right now. So we'll say that. But yesterday, like they had more total yards, they had more passing yards, more rushing yards, better completion percentage. I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. What's going on?
Aaron Rodgers is washed, man.
Is he? I mean, it's not like he played like god awful, right?
He's the only. I'll let you guys go first. I got numbers and figures and slideshow presentations and.
I don't think they're like. I mean, Devontae had like what 60. I think he's had 85 total yards since he's been back. Which I mean, trade piece, whatever.
He's had 84 yards in 2 games, no touchdowns.
But they're like the only game that Aaron Rodgers actually played he looked like Aaron Rodgers was the first game against the Pats. And they put up like 35, I think, on that Thursday night football game. Besides that, he's looked abysmal. And I didn't throw any interceptions. They didn't turn the ball over, but yeah, they're also letting New England like hang around. Like you got to put that away, especially if you're trying to like show that you want to make the playoffs or make the fucking magical path that Justin has lined up for you. You got to put up a freaking 35 piece in this game, and Devontae's got to go up, and they did nothing of the sort.
It may not be the Jets. It may not be on Aaron Rodgers. I think a lot of it is Aaron Rodgers, but the Jets might actually be cursed legitimately. Here's a mind-blowing stat. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Before I say this, though, Justin was right. Like they look better in each category than the previous week. Like they weren't playing awful on paper. All time, when teams score 20-plus points, have no turnovers, and also allow 250 yards or less of offense against them, all time, they are 750-1. The Jets are the one loss.
It's tough.
So no team ever. That's like someone said that's a Chargers kind of stat, which is at first glance is facts, but that's just like unfathomable. So yeah, they might actually be cursed. I don't know, but the roster losing to the worst team in the NFL is tough. I don't care if it's by 3 points, by a last-minute field goal, or whatever. That's a brutal, demoralizing loss. And they have to basically win out now to make the playoffs against smarter.
No, but like they could lose like one or two more, maybe.
You think they can lose 2 more?
Yeah.
All right, now you got to explain the path now because that just seems crazy.
So 2 more puts them at 9 and 8. You don't think 9 and 8 could get the 7 seed? Because
Yeah.
It's pretty
the 7
shitty.
seed right now is the Chargers.
I was just gonna say AFC is pretty. Like you said last time, it's really top heavy. So like those 6 and 7 teams, they're gonna be ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw something
Right now-
today that 40%, 30, it was an uneven number. It was like 35% of the league or 30% of the AFC has 2 wins.
Yeah. No, I mean, so Cincinnati is like the 9 seed right now, and they're 3 and 5. So they're a game out of that. I don't know if I could say, oh yeah, they're going to make the playoffs now. But there
All
is
of
a
a sudden,
path.
you're
It's
out,
possible if they can just, man.
Can they rehire Salah?
Their schedule is easy.
They lost to the worst
They
team
should've
in the
been.
league.
I know, but it's also a divisional game, so maybe it's
Oh,
something,
God.
you know.
Oh, God. Drake May
I
and
don't
Jacoby
know.
Brissett.
I don't know, man.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
bad.
that's the other thing is Drake May he hardly played. I don't know. They play Houston. If they win at home against Houston this week,
Okay,
would
there
you
it
say
is.
there's a chance?
Well, do you still
Would
think
there be a
Houston's a mid
chance?
team? Do
Well,
you still think Houston's a whatever team?
I kind of do now, to be
Um,
honest.
Yeah. Who have they beat?
The Colts
And
twice?
who have they beat like convincingly?
None.
They're right there.
The
Yeah,
Jaguars.
by a combined total of 5 points.
Yeah. No. And Diggs is out now
Yeah, they
too,
beat the Jags
along
by
with
4 points.
Nico Collins is still out, and then Diggs went down non-contact. We'll probably find some more info about that later this week, so we'll keep y'all updated. But Diggs went down. But anyways, we could
If the Jets beat Houston this week,
all right.
if
they're back,
there's a path.
You're
There is
back?
a path.
All right.
It's crazy that mathematically, I guess they technically aren't out, but the body language, the vibes, all of it shows that it's over. But I think if they beat Houston this week, it doesn't do much for me, to be honest.
No.
Like, I can't
Well,
even
I'm all
say
out.
they're back.
I'm all out. No, I'm out. I don't even care if they win the next 4.
Ugh.
Yeah, I am too.
If they beat the Texans, Cardinals, Colts, and Seahawks, which is very doable, I'm still out. I don't care.
Really?
If they won all
If they get to
4 of
6 and
those-
6, you're still all out.
Yep.
You got to think about that for
Damn.
a second.
No, I said yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the only thing that I could think of in recent memory is the 2011 Dream Team Eagles with Namdi Asamoah and everyone, and they choked. But that's not as bad as this is, I don't think. Because the Eagles that year started off good, right? They were like 8-1 and then collapsed, something like that. This team is dead in the water before November, technically, according to everyone else. But I guess mathematically there's a path, but everyone, they feel dead in the water. So,
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Justin's
we'll
holding
see.
on for dear life.
I know, right? We'll definitely come back to it.
If they lose this week, which they probably will. If they lose this week, though, then it's all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll definitely keep our eyes on that. Watch Aaron Rodgers not even play. He's like, no, I'm gonna sit myself. And who's their backup? Do we know?
Still an AR.
Oh, Anthony Richardson. Yeah.
God.
Must be an AR thing.
God, I guess we can get that game out of the way because I don't even care. Colts suck. Their defense kept him in, obviously. I mean, 4-4, so it's not like it's the division's way out of. I mean, they're 2 behind Houston, and Houston did sweep them. So Houston does have that, but they're only 2 behind. First, but Richardson looks 10 for 32 for 175 yards and an interception, which cost them the game, honestly, because it was right before the half, and they ran freaking back-to-back pass plays on their own, 10, which gave them the ball. They scored in 6 seconds right before the half, which was a huge demoralizer. And then, if many of you saw or went viral, Pat McAfee, tweeted and stuff and talked about it, that AR just kind of took a seat, said he was too tired, kind of delivers the wrong message to fan base and O-line and the team. And the Colts,
so
the Colts
bad, dude.
Nation,
I can't even remember
the
the
Colts,
last time something like that happened.
Or the Colts Reddit or the Colts vibe is every game it gets harder to defend him. No, you still got to give him a chance. And is it too early to have this conversation? I'm getting eerily close. This season, I'm not even
You're not there yet? What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, man. I would never want this for you. First and
foremost,
I would never wish.
I didn't want them to pick him anyways, but that's a different story. But like I said, whatever. But my ceiling for them was get the 7 seed. That's what I still think their ceiling is, and still within reach. If they do, they won't win a playoff game, which is fine. I'm not expecting them to. But if he continues to go 15 for 40, 13 for 35, 20 for 50 with 2 picks or 1 pick, and maybe 1 touchdown, I'm out. No, it's not worth it.
And then what do you expect this week in Minnesota?
In Minnesota this week? It's his first primetime game too. Under the lights,
Sunday night, dude.
I expect the Colts.
That game's Sunday night.
To start Joe Flacco and have the best Sunday night football game ever.
Well, I'm picking the Colts then. Joe Flacco starting.
And they could. Steichen said he's our QB1 for now, but we're reevaluating everything. So they'll probably see how practice goes and how he kind of reacts or whatever, or if he has any midweek, press conferences of what he says and stuff. I mean, even the O-line, everything was yeah, we didn't like that. So
there's 2 ways this can go. They can put him on prime time and he shits the bed, and they can go, Joe Flacco, take the wheel. And ride Joe Flacco until he is either worse and or gets hurt because he's old, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't put him in this week, it looks weird. I feel like they have to start him this week, and then if he completely utterly shits the bed,
say this is it, prime time.
I don't have a solid reason as to why they have to. Yeah, I think so. Maybe a chance to redeem himself from his remarks and stuff last week, right?
Yeah,
give him the benefit of the doubt because your season's arguably over. So,
there's nothing to lose.
But if it's really really bad,
that it's 4-4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, technically.
A part of me wants him. I don't know. It sounds bad, but part of me wants him to go out
really
Sunday
bad,
football.
You can always put in Flacco with the half.
No, part of me wants him to go out and have 2 picks in the first half, 6 for 20 for 80 yards in the first half. Part of me wants that just to be over it. I'm over it. Part of me, but the other part of me is I want them to win and do well. So, but we'll see. Yeah, Colts bad. Houston barely wins.
Who wins, Colts or Jets right now? If AR plays,
Colts. They have better run game.
Is Flacco starting? That's the base decision. I'm not being facetious. I'm being serious. If Joe Flacco, that's my bait. That's where my brain goes. Is Flacco starting? Yeah. It's then I can calculate the decision from there. If Joe Flacco is not starting, then I'd probably say the Jets, as bad as they are.
That's what I said, if AR plays.
Because they can put up 20-plus points. For that reason alone.
We'll see. terrible. Well, I'm curious how Sunday night goes, but we'll get into that next episode for the preview. Moving on to this other one, Eagles Bengals.
We got to talk about Jameis though.
Oh no, I definitely want to get to that one. I just want to
Eagles,
look at this
Bengals,
one quick.
too.
Eagles Bengals, kind of must win for Bengals. They want to kind of stay in that. They're still in that, easy AFC. Like Justin mentioned, it's pretty dog water at the bottom there. It's going to be a 9-8 team, 10-7 at the best. That's going to make that. So I mean, they're still, they're out for the division for sure, but they're definitely in it. For that wild card spot. I mean, Joe Burrow still looks good. He's top 5 in all the QB categories. But you can't give up 37 points and expect to win. Philly's slowly convincing me the last couple weeks. I wasn't convinced the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, and they're slowly kind of putting it together. They look like the Eagles team that went to the Super Bowl a little bit. Not like saying they're gonna win the division. Even I'm not even picking them as division winners yet, but they look better than they did 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, this is the best they've looked in a hot minute overall. For sure.
Barkley couldn't give me a touchdown for a fantasy, but whatever. Justin, you think the Eagles are back and going to take the division from Washington, or what?
No, I don't think that. I think Washington will win the division. I think the Eagles have beat up on. I don't know. Are the Bengals a bad team, or can we call them a bad team yet, or just like mediocre?
Yeah,
mediocre.
They beat the Browns, Giants, and Bengals the last 3 weeks after a bye week. And then they play Jacksonville this week. I think their schedule is pretty soft. So they'll definitely be a wild card team, maybe even 5 seed. But I think Washington will win the division. They have that last place schedule,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, definitely feel it gets it done. Little tush push again, 3 touchdowns, which always helps those Jalen Hurts fantasy owners. But yeah, now let's get into our boy getting the start, Jameis Winston. Obviously, Deshaun Watson out for the year with Achilles injury last week. Jameis Winston comes in, makes it interesting against Cincy, and throws that touchdown at the end. Gets his first start in, I believe, over 2 years, which was awesome. And, obviously, I think all of us, we picked the game wrong winner-wise, but I think all of us were like, sure thing, Browns are going to cover at, 9.5 or 8.5. I think all of us were like, oh, I think Cleveland can cover. And obviously, they ended up upsetting Baltimore, and they looked good. Division game for sure. I mean, Jameis going off, which we love to see. He threw over 300 yards. Typical Jameis. 3 touchdowns. Typical Jameis. No picks. Not typical Jameis, but helps the team win.
Not typical.
I know. Yeah. He actually threw one at the end, and Baltimore could have sealed it.
Dimes, dude.
Kyle Hamilton dropped that pick at the end, could have sealed the game. Definitely tough. Sometimes I kind of, I guess you asked the question. I mean, Justin played DB in high school, I think, for like an hour for Santiago. Are you supposed to catch it when the ball is thrown to you, like as a safety? Like if it's right in your chest, are you expected to catch it? Is that what the expectation is, to get an interception?
Well, he plays safety because he can't catch. Otherwise, he'd play receiver.
Is that what the saying is, or what? I've never heard that before.
DBs play defense because they can't catch.
That's funny. But I mean, Kyle Hamilton definitely top safety in
Side
the
note,
league.
you mentioned Jameis got his first start in 2 years. I think it's insane how Jameis didn't get a start in New Orleans. That they had Taysom Hill ahead of him on the depth chart.
Yeah,
I thought that was insane at the time, and I think it's insane now. Overall value and what he can do. Anyways, on me for not picking Jameis to win this game. I knew it in the back of my head. Actually, that's not true. I didn't know in the back of my head, but
this should have been your gut feeling game.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that one later.
I said weeks ago though too. I was like, "What do the Browns like?" I said a few weeks ago, you can't look me in the eyes and tell me that Deshaun Watson gives you a better chance to win than Jameis.
No,
This was like,
but we all
week
said that they
3,
paid him so much that you can't not
you know?
start Deshaun. That was our whole
No, I know.
consensus.
I'm just saying, like in week 3, it was obvious. Like you're going to tell me that Jameis is going to play worse than this, really?
No.
And no, they looked great. They had signs of life for a team that I guess we shouldn't be too surprised. I mean, the Browns had a good roster, or they have a good roster, right? They just have a grossly incompetent quarterback. So when you have someone who can move the offense, make some plays, it's not totally out of the realm of possibility that they won this game. I don't think anyone expected to beat Baltimore, though, right, after the week that they just had. But
Yeah.
I did say last week, I felt great about Baltimore this time last year, and then something like this happens, and I'm like, okay, I don't really know how to feel about Baltimore. Maybe it's just a divisional game against a wild card Jameis who hasn't played in forever. Maybe
I
it's
agree.
Baltimore's hot and cold.
Jackson still put
I
up
don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard
300
to-
yards.
It's hard to pinpoint if it was just like a divisional game, Jameis wild card, or if Baltimore is inconsistent. I don't 100% know. I'm not gonna
Justin, what do you think?
crown Baltimore yet.
I think it's a little bit of that. I think it's a little bit of, we talked about this like earlier in the season. When you have like a quarterback change or a coaching change, you have that game like right afterwards where it's like insane and nobody expects it. It's like out of nowhere. But then they kind of like come back to earth over the next couple games or so.
Hopefully
the
Jameis
difference
doesn't
here
pull the
is
Andy
though
Dalton.
that, yeah, they do.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, exactly, right? So Andy Dalton comes in, lights it up, and then after that, it's like
Piece of shit.
Bryce Young's back in now. But the problem for Cleveland, though, I think, is that they've gone through like the softer part of their schedule. I think, like they had the Giants, they had Vegas, they had even like Cincinnati last week, and they lost all those games. Dallas, beginning of the year, they lost that game. Now they have to deal with like Kansas City and Pittsburgh twice.
But they have Jameis at the helm,
Denver's
baby.
like not a super easy game. They have to go to Baltimore at the end of the year. Like their schedule is not super easy. So I don't know, but they play the Chargers next week, so they could go 2-0 with Jameis going into their bye and be feeling really good about themselves.
All right, quick, just
It'd be crazy.
I'm gonna have just a quick question. Browns are 2-6 or whatever, but obviously they lost to the Cowboys, Giants, Raiders, Commanders, Eagles, Bengals. Those are their 6 losses, right? All Deshaun. If Jameis started week 1, what would the record be right now? Quick answer.
They'd have 2 more wins.
4
Yeah,
and
I
4.
like that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe like 5 and 3 if they got like lucky on one of them or something, like one of those bigger games, perhaps. But I agree.
Yeah, they maybe could have beat Philly because
Yeah.
Philly, for whatever reason, had a shit day that game.
It's true. That was when Sirianni got the haircut and was yelling at his own fans. Fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and Jameis also quoted Eminem at the end when he won. I don't know if you guys caught that. And they're announcing, he's like, "Oh, how do you feel?" He's like, "You only get one shot, one
It's a
opportunity."
white boy down in Detroit
Oh yeah. So,
with a straight face.
so yeah, I know, dude. He's so funny. In the beginning too,
Will
I saw
Levis
the
is a
hype.
walking meme.
Oh, what are you gonna say?
Saying Will Levis is a walking meme. Jameis is a talking meme.
Dude,
Everything
fact.
that he says is like viral.
Dude, did you see the
philosophical
warm-up
meme,
one when he's like
and he's
having
dead
enough to go on the
serious.
field? He was like, "All right, guys, we got to play for the names on our jerseys.
He's
All right,
just,
we got to play for the names on our helmets. Wait, we ain't got no decals. Fuck it, let's play for the Browns."
you ain't got no decal.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Jameis is a national treasure. I hope he never retires and
Protect
just
him at all costs.
is like in the league, forever for someone.
Honestly.
National treasure. Yeah, happy for Jameis, happy for the Browns, happy for the Browns fans, man, who desperately deserved a W after the
Especially
hell.
W over Baltimore too. Like that's so awesome for them. But
Real quick,
speaking
who has it worse right now? Browns fans or Jets fans?
Jets fans.
Jets fans.
Yeah. Jets fans hype, and then Jets fans reality. Browns hype, Browns' reality. It's actually a little higher, I think, now. Because they have Jameis.
But they know that they're stuck with Deshaun Watson's contract too, right?
I don't know if Jameis is like the savior, but yeah.
For the season, for fun, why not? Let it ride. We've seen crazier things.
Yeah, let it ride.
What isn't crazy is the Detroit Lions putting up 40 and 50-piece McNuggets like it's freaking nobody's business, dude. The tear that they're on and what they can do, both passing the ball and not even passing the ball, is scary. Like, I don't know. I mean, 52 points.
Next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure if luck is gonna carry you through a win. I think you have to actually outperform Dan Campbell and his Lions because they are. They're putting up really good numbers. I mean, Jared Goff looks good. I mean, obviously he didn't throw the ball that much, but they didn't need to. I mean, you're winning by, 35 plus. You don't need to throw the ball at all anyways. Give it up. Give it to one of your top, or your two Pro Bowl running backs, Gibbs and Montgomery. And then you have Amon-Ra St. Brown and their Laporta finally got in the mix too. Again, shout out National Tight Ends Day. He got in the mix too. So, dude, I don't know. What's stopping them, I guess, Justin?
Jared Goff had absolute baller stat line. It was like 85 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. I'm just like, oh yeah, 50 points on the board. You're like, God damn, dude, this team is so good. Like the trick plays they're running, it just looks like it's like Madden all rookie mode, dude. It's just too easy. It's ridiculous.
They should have flexed this week's game to Sunday night. Because I think it's going to be the game of the week.
Yeah, Packers are 6-2, and the Lions are. If the Packers win, they're still not. They don't have the division still. I don't think. Right?
I think they do.
Lions are crazy.
Maybe they do. Yeah.
Lions are crazy.
If Jordan Love plays, the Packers have to play perfect. So they have like no turnovers, no this, no that. Maybe they can win. But
no, if the Packers win and the Vikings win, the Vikings are in first, I think.
Yes, the Vikings have the tiebreaker. Who do the Vikings play this week?
Indy.
Colts.
Oh, yeah, so they'll win.
I don't know, man. It's going to be they're all 6-2. I don't know what the order would be actually because Minnesota lost to Detroit.
But they also beat the Packers.
But they beat Green Bay, yeah.
I don't know. We'll find out, though. We'll find out Sunday.
Definitely be a good one.
Chicago should be up there, but
we'll talk about it more, obviously, next episode. We'll kind of preview the next week. But Justin, any takeaways on Detroit? Do you think anything kind of slows them down or can stop them? I mean, Titans, I'm not saying like this game is showing that Detroit's really good. Titans are not good, but, I mean, they're still putting up. It's not easy to put up 40 plus on an NFL team, regardless of who you're playing.
Yeah, I'm excited for this week because they're on the road at Green Bay, and they haven't played like a really great team through this like stretch. The last I thought at the time Tampa Bay was a really good team when they lost to them. Seattle was pretty decent. They beat them.
Minnesota,
and then
in Minnesota.
I thought they should have lost that Minnesota game, though, man. I don't know. It could have gone either way. So I think this week will be good. Like a good test for them. See how crazy they actually are. I don't know why they're pulling out all these trick plays and whatever right now, though. It doesn't make much sense to me because I feel like you can use that later on. When you actually need it.
The one thing I'll say that makes it interesting is, like I said, the Packers' defense have come away with turnovers every single week. Sometimes multiple turnovers. So if they can win the turnover battle and Jordan Love cannot turn the ball over, which is a big ask right now, I think they have as good a chance as anybody. But if there's stupid mistakes, if you turn the ball over and give the Lions a short field, you cannot spot them 7, let alone you cannot spot them any points. So I think this is obviously the biggest test the Packers have this year. thus far. And if they just get absolutely shit on, then it says a lot. But if it's close, we'll see. Lions are scary good. They're very, very good.
Lions scary good. Last two for this morning, Cardinals, Dolphins. Cardinals walk it off. Chad Ryland's walk-off field goal again after they walk off on Monday night against the Chargers last week. Tua's first game back looked pretty good. Didn't look obviously terrible. They put up more than 10 points for the first time, I feel like, in a month. But Cardinals kind of walk it off. Arizona's actually down in the third quarter, or they're down 9 in the fourth, and then ended up scoring 10 unanswered pretty quickly. So Kyler Murray and Cardinals sneakily in first place in a trash division at 4-4, but still, they're in first place. Got to give them the respect.
Frisky.
Still not sold.
Yeah, this is what I was hoping for when they played Green Bay a couple weeks ago. When I was like, oh man, I love the Cardinals, And then they came out and looked like dog shit. But I don't know. It feels like it's really hard for them to win. Like they have to win back-to-back weeks, walk-off field goals. Something has to give, right?
Against Miami and the Chargers.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they lose to the Jets in 2 weeks. I'll say that.
Ooh. Clip it.
Hammer Arizona. At the house.
So, yeah, but Arizona gets it done. First place. Obviously they held the tiebreaker over San Francisco because they're all tied at 4-4 in the NFC. So, in their division. But the last division one, the NFC South matchup, I know we touched base on this one. Falcons get it done in Tampa Bay, 31-26. The 5-point margin of victory was a little too close that I would have imagined. Tampa Bay, like I said in that recap, they scored 9 unanswered in the fourth. Tampa Bay looked to have control over this game pretty well. What's it called? With no Evans, no Godwin, and Atlanta looking good. Bijan doing good. Obviously, our boy Kirk Cousins, putting up really good numbers too, has been pretty consistent and good. Over 270 yards, 4 touchdowns. It's top, definitely top 5 QB in the league right now, pass yards wise, and I think touchdowns as well. I still think it's their division to lose. I don't think they're that. I think they're a good NFC team. I don't think they're on that Lions tier. I think, they have good offensive weapons, and if they can kind of put it together and maybe make a couple stops on the defensive side, I think they could be a fun playoff team.
I do think Atlanta is officially good. I was always more riding Tampa for the division early in the year. Big believer in Baker. And Atlanta has now beaten Tampa twice. So, it's hard to say it's a fluke or they got lucky or whatever. And then going forth, I kind of expect Atlanta to win the division. I think they've shown enough that they are good and they're not fluky or they can be very good. Doesn't mean Tampa can't do it, but
it just sucks.
Yeah, Atlanta looks better than I gave them credit for.
No, I definitely gotta give them credit. Yeah, obviously, first place in the NFC South. I was the same way. I think we all were. Tampa Bay, we kind of had them as the favorites to win. Baker, putting up really good numbers at the beginning of the year, first few weeks. Obviously on paper, Godwin and Rachaad White and Evans and Baker and was it Kate Otten? They have those are top tier. Evans and Godwin have been top 10 wide receivers in the league for the last 5 years. Evans for 7 years or whatever. So we kind of pegged them as to be the winner, especially Kirk. Yeah, especially Kirk coming off of, the Achilles. We didn't really know, but hey, got to give him credit. They're leading the South and look good doing it. And I'll take Justin's quote, or I'll take Justin's lead right here to look at the schedule for the Atlanta, just real quick. I'll just run a quick little say dub or L for the next 5 games for the Falcons. Are you ready? Versus Cowboys.
Ready.
Dub
Dub
versus Cowboys. At Saints.
Dub.
Dub.
At Broncos.
Dub.
Versus Chargers.
Dub.
Dub.
At Vikings. At Raiders.
L.
L.
Dub.
Dub.
And that's 6. That's 5-1. So after that, they would be 10-4 with 3 games left. And those 3 games are Giants, Commanders, and Panthers. WL or WLW.
Yeah,
So,
maybe they
probably.
lose like 2 more games.
So, I mean, Atlanta's... Now, again, you got to give credit. They look good, but their schedule's pretty easy, too. They kind of have a cakewalk into the playoffs. Cakewalk for the division, too. Panthers are down bad. Saints are down bad. Now Tampa Bay's kind of out of it because of the injuries. So, it kind of sucks. It's not the way I wanted the division to pan
They're
out.
2.5 down now.
I wanted it to be a Carr, Baker, Cousins shootout, for... I think at the beginning of the year, we're kind of looking towards that. Especially after the first 2 weeks when Derek Carr was putting up manly numbers, and then they just took a shit. But yeah, it's definitely Atlanta's division to lose for sure. But anything on that one, Justin?
Yeah, I think the division's like locked up already. I think this game was too important for Tampa Bay to lose. Just because now they're 2.5 back. They have to be a game up on them to win the division.
And all the injuries
Because
that
they lost
happened.
them twice.
Yep. No, for sure.
I think that's going to be too much with how easy of a schedule Atlanta has.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, well, moving on to week 8, those afternoon games, there were a few, one surprise, I guess, for Joller. So we'll get into that, but I'll kind of roll through them for you real quick. New Orleans and the Chargers meet at SoFi. This had the most baseball as fuck score at halftime. It was 9-5 at halftime. But Lad McConkey gets 2 touchdowns in the second half. Career highs, obviously, for yards and catches and stuff, too, for the rookie out of Georgia. Chargers take it 26-8. Another Jake Haener sighting, as Dennis Allen's probably done with what's-his-face? Spencer Rattler, because he's done nothing. I mean, 8 points against a terrible Chargers team. It's pretty rough. So, Chargers win 26-8. Pretty easy in the second half. Broncos-Panthers. Justin's guy, Bo Nix, has another great day. Over 280 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Obviously pretty easy. They were up 21-7 and just kind of coasting. And we don't have to try too hard to beat the Panthers. Not saying the Broncos are egregiously good or anything, because they're beating up on a weak Panthers team and Bryce Young, who came back. But, I mean, Bo Nix is throwing, and they don't really have any top-tier wide receivers. I mean, you sold me on Bo Nix, Justin, for sure. I love him. I watched him play more in this game, too.
He's good,
Again, albeit against the Panthers, but still, you got me. I'm sold on him. The upset of the week, I guess we should say, for Joller. Bills go into Seattle and absolutely put a shellacking on the Seahawks. Josh
Never
Allen.
a doubt. Lock of the century.
Lock of the
Hand of
century, as
accountability.
Justin,
Easiest pick.
as Justin had to change his pick 5 minutes before the episode ended last week to pick.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, so he doesn't count.
I made that pick. I made that pick before the season even started.
Easiest pick, my ass. You've been hating on Buffalo the entire season, and I've been riding with Buffalo the entire season, which is what makes this pick that much worse.
And I knew
said,
as soon as you said, I just have a gut feeling, bro.
I did quote it too. I did pin that and quote it, but no, I'm still riding with the Bills. They look good. I kind of mention every week, Josh Allen doesn't have to do too much. He did throw his first interception, but again, it was not anything crazy or really costly. They took care of business by 3 scores, 31-10. He still put up over 280 yards throwing. And with that, I mean, James Cook even ran for over 100 and 2 touchdowns also. So they did it both on the ground and in the air. And if Buffalo can do that, which they haven't been able to do in recent years, I think they'll be definitely a fun team to watch in the AFC playoffs. So we'll definitely see that. And then the second to last game of the afternoon, Chiefs and Raiders. I know I picked the Raiders going into this game. They did cover. Good teams win, great teams cover, and Vegas did cover the spread at plus 9.5. They lost by a touchdown, 27-20 at home to the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes or Kelsey gets his first touchdown. Patrick Mahomes, throws 2, also has another pick. Raiders actually had a chance to win this game, or at least make it somewhat close. There was
first half was a lot closer than we thought.
Even towards the end, what's it called? They were down by 7. Mahomes throws a pick in his own end zone pretty much, and Raiders get stuffed on 1st and goal on 4 straight rushes, so they can't convert. They get the ball back again, and 2 plays later, Minshew fumbles it. So huge 7-point swing. Couldn't get it done. Was hoping for it. Had the chance to. Wasn't a blowout, but lose 27-20. And the wild, I would say, one of the games of the week. The number 1 versus the number 2 pick. Williams going against our boy, Jayden Daniels. Definitely a defensive battle, as we assume, because Bears defense is for real. Hopefully everyone saw. It definitely was. It was a huge defensive battle.
It was a mid-off.
Yeah, it was field goal, and then DeAndre Swift broke one open near the end of the 3rd, and then what's it called? Yeah, field goal. The only touchdown from Washington came in the dying seconds when our boy Jayden Daniels aired it out 65 yards in the air to Ohio State alum Noah Brown in the craziest freaking Aaron Rodgers-esque walk-off Hail Mary that I've ever seen in a while. Commanders take it to stay atop their division, 18-15. And Jay Daniels shows for real why he should have been picked number 1 and not number 2. Thoughts? Prayers?
Losing my mind, the defensive back who was showboating to the crowd
dude
as the Hail Mary was going on is an all-time Bears move, and the fans are like the Bears fans who had good seats in the front row were like, the play's going on. And I love that he was the one who tipped the ball that Noah Brown caught gracefully into his hands, ever so smooth. That was the smoothest Hail Mary. I don't even know if in the Aaron Rodgers Hail Marys there's been something that smooth, Usually, you go to the ground, you pray, you hold on to it. That was a gift. Instant karma for being a complete dumbass. If the Bears had any accountability, he'd be unemployed this morning, but I don't think that that's true. Bears absolutely deserve it. Jayden Daniels, the legend of Jayden Daniels grows off that mistake.
Dude.
It was kind of a mid-game, not going to lie. I was disappointed. I don't think it was a defensive battle. I think they both played not so great. Caleb was ass. Jayden Daniels did not play great either until the very end. But win's a win. Way to walk it off. Yeah.
We did get some insider information. We checked on him, reached out to his family. He said he was doing good, but that he's still kind of has some pain. So maybe that kind of added into, maybe not running as much or being as elusive as much. Obviously, when it came down to it and he had to extend the play, I think he was that last play, he was running around for 12 or 13 seconds, which is exhausting. If you think about it, and then having to heave it down, definitely it's, need your ribs and need some movement for that. But hey, got it done. Still put up, he had 60 yards on the last play, but besides that, if you subtract those, still had over 250 passing yards too. So,
game wouldn't have been so close if they just would have started Marcus.
You're an idiot.
But
classic.
Is the truth though, you would have had another 40-7 game. Would have been fine. No, but it's crazy. Bears were 5-2.
I guess we'll never know.
For 20 seconds, and then they weren't.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
Sucks to suck.
The other one, Broncos-Panthers. Obviously you don't have too much on the Panthers. Bryce Young back in due to a car accident for Andy Dalton. Hopefully he's okay. I think he hurt his hand, but it probably was a minor car accident. They just use it as an excuse. Nah, dog, just sit out this week. Who cares? he's been playing like shit anyways. I mean, it's not like Bryce Young came in and did anything better. But Bryce Young had 2 picks. But Bo Nix, man, another great game for him. 3 touchdowns, throwing for 280. Did he run for a score also, or no? He did not. Oh, yeah, he did run for a score. 4 total touchdowns.
Yes.
For Bo Nix.
Yep.
Damn. That is awesome. And, I mean, it sucks the division that the Broncos are in.
Every point he accounted for.
And it sucks that the, Broncos are in the division that they're in. But, because they have to go against the Chiefs twice. But I think those are going to be fun. I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying Denver has a chance to win the division at all, but I'm just saying.
I'd be worried about their defense. Something Bo hasn't had to deal with yet.
Yeah, I guess.
But the next 3 games are Baltimore, Kansas City, Atlanta.
Oof, man, there's a gauntlet right there.
So we're gonna find out.
Find out real quick. Yeah, no, it's a good test for him. I mean, rookie, you don't expect much, but he's been putting up good numbers too, like sneakily, like kind of behind Jayden. I still think, Caleb's hasn't had that many good games on a consistent basis. But Bo Nix, I think I would put him second, in Rookie of the Year. Right now, at least.
Second?
Yeah?
Yeah, right
now. But what was the other one? Yeah, Chiefs, Raiders, obviously. Raiders, down bad. Gardner Minshew looks terrible. They covered. I mean, Chiefs are inevitable, pretty much. I think we talked about it originally. Justin said, I believe he thinks their first loss is going to be Tampa Bay originally, but obviously with the injuries.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's definitely changing. I picked the Raiders, and they had the chance too, which makes it even more sad. That was like within reach. It's not like they were going to win right away, but like the win was within reach. I mean, they only lost by a touchdown. So they definitely had the chances. Stuffed on 4th and goal, can't convert, and then fumble on the next possession when he could tie it up again. All-time Raiders Gardner Minshew move, definitely not what you want, which sucks. Yeah, I mean, tank for Shadur or Quinn, might as well, because neither of those two. Somebody said, I saw a post, like, bro, Aiden O'Connell just spawned into the NFL. Where'd this fool come from? Which I was like, oh shit, where did he come from? I mean, he's on the IR now, but like, I saw that, I was like, for real, where did this fool come from? But yeah, Chiefs are inevitable.
NPC ass motherfucker.
Seriously, dude. He's got that porn stash too, man. I'm like, dude, shave that shit off your fucking face. And then lastly, mine and Justin's Buffalo Bills getting it done to upset Joller's emotional pick, right, or whatever you called it. No brainer, I would say, as Justin would say, a no brainer Buffalo Bills pick easily.
As easy a pick as could ever be.
It's not like it took him an hour of recording to convince him otherwise. So.
Oh, dude. I knew it all the way. It was all for show.
I love it. And it's funny, the Buffalo Bills obviously are in first place by 4 games. So, I mean, it's kind of a walk.
Yeah.
Cakewalk for them.
It's a wrap.
So, I mean,
How about some Cowboys?
Oh, you don't want to talk about that game anymore?
I thought we already talked
about that.
Did you guys double
up? Have anything to say?
What's it called? I will say, I'll talk first on this one because I picked Dallas. I watched that game through and through. Dallas is bad. Dak is terrible. And I was shocked that the Niners put up that many points just because I feel like they just haven't been clicking on offense. But Kittle came to play. National Tight Ends Day again, of course, goes off for over 100. Garindo gets his first touchdown as a rookie, running back. Brock looks pretty decent too. Dak looks bad. It took him 3.5 quarters to finally get like an offensive drive together. You were right. I will admit when I'm wrong. Dallas is bad. Dak looks like shit.
Not to pile on, but that first pick early on, the Dak like laid up. was like one of the easiest interceptions of the year. And it was such a bad throw that it was, I went straight to Twitter and I was like, oh man, I just know he's getting flamed. Like, it's not, I don't know. I feel like if a pick's close or like the DB makes some insane play, right? Like, shit happens, right? Like, it's not always the end of the world. But that was just a complete layup, And I'm like, after all these years, like, what the fuck is Dak thinking, like, making these throws? And now that he's making $60 million a year, it's just every time I see something like that, I'm gonna just flame him because he's absurdly rich for not playing well. I don't know. It was a bad throw. That stuck with me all night, and it made me pissed off.
They're bad, man. I keep trying to tell you. I know. They're just not good.
I think maybe they just teased
They're
me.
last in rush yards per game. They're last in time of possession. They're last in points allowed per game. They're just bad.
I saw a Stephen A. Smith clip. Not that I actively listen to Stephen A. Smith, but was crucifying Jerry for not making any offseason moves, and I guess he interviewed him in the offseason, like cordially. And Jerry's like, when asked about not being aggressive in free agency, he's like, yeah, but I have guys that you haven't seen yet. There's guys on the roster who didn't get time last year. Wait till you see them. Like, doubling down on how confident he was in the roster.
Yeah.
And through 8 weeks, like, it's just, especially on defense, like, it's just not there. Like,
I'm going to get D-Law's
out. More senile than Joe Biden at this point.
If they got Derrick Henry could single-handedly have won 1 or 2 games for this team. Probably.
Bro, my boy Zeke got in the end zone.
He probably could have willed them to.
Doesn't matter, man.
About to retire.
They're dead last in rushing.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Because Cowboys are
Dalvin Cook and Zeke.
Colts are second to worst.
Dalvin Cook and Zeke, man. In 2017, that would have been so lethal.
2018, man, they're running the table on anyone, dude. All those memes are comedy.
Yep. That's a fact.
Damn. But,
at Atlanta, home for Philly, home for Houston, at Washington.
Oof.
LLLL.
And Niners with the win.
It's still not in the playoffs, though.
Both these teams, I mean, have the chance. 49ers are 500 and tied up top their division, and they're hoping in Niners country that McCaffrey practices this week. Jallard, do you still have him on your fantasy squad, or you dropped him?
I do, because I haven't looked. I've ghosted my roster for weeks. I haven't looked. I emotionally gave up, but I haven't filed for divorce yet.
They're hoping he practices.
I haven't made any roster moves, so to speak.
I mean, if he practices,
I hate football.
But they have I think they have a bye this week. They do. Yep. They have a bye this week. So opening practices within the next 2 weeks, and then who knows, man? If you can get McCaffrey out there to go and play against the Bucs, pretty good. Definitely make them a contender, or at least to for the division for sure, and then as a NFC wildcard team, to look pretty good, or to beat a wildcard team, excuse me, if they win the division. But and last one, I honestly didn't catch too much of this game. Monday night game, Giants and Pittsburgh. I think Justin and I were kind of hoping Russell Wilson looked really terrible and miraculously lost to the Giants. They won, not as convincingly. Russell actually didn't look that good either until he threw like a touchdown at the end. There was a punt return touchdown, which is fun. The last Steelers punt return touchdown I can remember is when Antonio Brown kicked that punter in the face. I don't know if you guys remember that. When Antonio Brown used to return punts, he kicked that Browns punter to square in the fucking jaw. Steelers win.
I miss Antonio Brown, man.
Dude. He's on his own
Side note.
CTE podcast, bro.
Do you guys follow him on Twitter? Do you guys follow AB on Twitter?
Hashtag CTESPN.
Absolutely not.
It is outrageously funny. You're missing out. This is not even a joke. He is outrageously funny. I'm going to start sending in tweets in the chat now because you don't know what I'm talking about. It's so good. I miss him.
Yeah, Pittsburgh
Yeah, I
wins.
remember after Pittsburgh was like 3-0. After they went 3-0, we talked about their upcoming schedule, and we were like, "Damn, they could be 7-1 easy, like at worst 6-2." And here they are. They're 6-2 going into their bye.
Yeah, and Russell looks like godsend. He's played the Jets and the Giants, so it's like whatever. But what are you gonna do? They do have taking Justin's role here. At Commanders versus Ravens, at Browns, and then at Bengals. So
yeah, it's tough.
Commanders, Ravens. Do you imagine 3 L's in a row and the last one loses to the Browns? That'd be awesome.
Good. Russ
Possible.
throws like 7 picks in that stretch.
And Jameis Winston throws 7 tutties in that stretch. In that game.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? So yeah, definitely a good slate. Just for sake of scoring, Justin is in the lead in our overall picks for the year, 34, followed by Joller at 31, and then followed by myself in last because I bet with my heart, not with my mind, with 28.
So would you pick against the Chiefs every week?
I'm gonna be fucking right one of these days, and you're gonna be wrong. So
that's why. You pick against the Chiefs.
They're not going undefeated. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm playing the odds, man. And I was close. They're getting closer because Vegas covered the spread, so they're getting closer to losing.
You did not pick with the odds this week.
Are the Chiefs the most mid 7-0 team of all time?
Probably.
No, Pittsburgh was a few years back.
Ooh,
that's
yes.
a fact.
When they went like 10-0, and then they ended up 11-5 and lost in the wild card round.
They lost in wild card to the Browns.
Yeah, that was the most mid long stretch undefeated team ever.
Yeah, that was bad. Stand corrected.
Josh Allen is now leading Vegas for MVP, by the way. Josh Allen, followed by Lamar Jackson, and then Patrick Mahomes at number 3.
The Jared Goff disrespect, man.
Then Jared Goff at 4.
It's insane.
I hope he goes scorched earth on the Packers this week to catapult him to 1 because no offense, but he deserves it,
It wouldn't surprise me.
We'll see.
I don't know,
but we'll be back. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We'll be back in a few days to kind of preview Week 9 of the NFL and go over Thursday Night Football real quick. Thursday Night Football. Does anyone have it up by chance? The game. Just shout out a pick real quick. We don't have to preview it. I just want to shout out a pick.
Texans Jets.
Ooh.
Get this. The Jets are -2.
In New York, obviously.
The Jets are -2.
Hammer
You're gonna tell me they're out. Put the house on the Jets to cover.
Oh my God.
Texans, dude, they got to bounce back. Texans are so due for a good game.
Rodgers 300, 3 tuds.
Smash that subscribe and
Maybe
smash
Devontae will get
Texan.
another 40 yards again.
Facts. Well, I got Houston. Joller's got Houston. Justin's got New York. So we'll see.
I don't know if I got New York, man. Do I get to make that pick right now?
About anything in my entire life.
I don't have to make that pick right now.
No,
I guess I do.
Before the game starts, you can just text us. That way, you're not cheating.
You got 2
nights.
Okay.
All right.
But thanks everyone for listening. We love all of you. Again, this is the Ball Knowers podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, tweet, hit me up, DM, Snapchat me. You already know. I don't even have Snapchat anymore, actually.
Smash
Do you guys
that sub button on the tube
smash
if you're
that
watching.
sub button on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'll see y'all in a few days to preview Week 9 of the NFL. Cue the outro music and go. No?
Love you, boys.
Later, player.